Welcome to the ISB show, Sahil Rahi Roy, the last day of this round of Asian World Cup qualifiers. We're sad that this round's ending, but more to come. We're going to cover all the matches. Before we get into it, guys, real quick, here's the standings. That's what it looks like here with the standings here. This is how it all finished up. The blue is the next round that the teams that made it through to the next round, the Emirates, Qatar, Iraq, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia. We'll talk about all that. And of course, the teams in green, or the ones that made the World Cup. We are adding today the Aussies, Rahi, that made the World Cup. But before we get into all that, we have to talk about one of the biggest stories in football that happened today is the Palestinian national team. Now, regardless of however you feel about the situation in the world, politically, all of that kind of stuff, you have to say it's so incredible what this team has done for the people out there, and they were this close to making it, and we have to talk about it because there was a lot of controversy involved with them not making it through.
This is so heartbreaking. It's hard not to get emotional about this game and what happened on the field here. This team was playing in Oman, in Jordan. There's so many Palestinians in Jordan, of course, displaced, who are there. So you could feel the entire country there rooting for this to happen. And think about what this team has been through, playing all their games effectively in a neutral site and having to do what they've done. I don't know how, facility-wise, what they've been able to train, how they've been able to do that. And look at what this team has done in qualifiers. They're the only team. They took 2 points off Korea, Roy. They tied Korea at Korea's home in Seoul. Can you imagine that? This team has fought, and to come this close, to play so well, to take the lead, to be effectively 30 seconds away from the next round of the World Cup, and to have it taken away from you on the softest penalty I have seen in a long time, and to say that that's the reason they don't go to the next round, it's so heartbreaking, Roy, and it's shocking.
Yep, I'm really heartbroken to see this because it's a team, like you said, that's fought so hard to be here and got here against all odds. They played everything in a neutral location. They didn't have a home game. Like, this is a team that deserved to win this game, and it was ripped from their hands by this referee. This referee got it all wrong, in my opinion. Yes, I was watching this on like 240p video quality, so I couldn't really see what was going on half the time. It was so blurry. But that simply wasn't a penalty. I don't know how else to put it. I watched it 20 times. That simply is not a penalty. And to get eliminated in the last second of the game due to a bad referee call, this is heartbreaking. And I don't think it's people are going to be talking about, oh, the ref was paid off. They got a red card. I think it was just a really, really bad refereeing decision at the end of the day.
Terrible.
You have to be so confident, right, as a referee in that moment to make that call. Why? With 30 seconds left, because what happens then is VAR doesn't have enough to overturn it. But if it wasn't called on the field side, there's no way that VAR is going to go back and refer it and say it's a penalty. Why do you call that? Why do you put the game in the referee's hands, in your own hands? I don't get it.
I want to make a little statement about football. You know, football is a beautiful thing. Sometimes you see some beautiful stories right out there in terms of just empowering people and all those kind of things. And it also has a very dark side, which is experienced today, where it can be very cruel at times. And I still think the officials and referees still have too much power in this particular point in time, despite all the VAR, despite all the situation. You're absolutely right, both of you. In this situation, what you do as a ref is you let it be, and if VAR tells you, hey, check out this situation, this was extremely wrong, then you let VAR decide it, especially in a given a moment like this, and especially since that ball was flying out of bounds. Like, there's no way the player would have got it. There's no way.
Yeah. Look at the world, the way the world is turning to technology, to artificial intelligence, to machine learning. Soccer is still in the 1960s. This VAR thing where the ref is running across the field to watch a play on a computer screen. Is this 1989? What is going on? Where is the technological revolution in soccer to avoid these exact kind of situations? It's
and
ridiculous that a game of this caliber is decided on a human who makes a bad decision. It's ridiculous.
And
It doesn't make any sense.
It's common sense, or it's understanding the situation in the game. You realize that you make this decision at this point when, like you said, Saad, the ball is effectively flying over. The goalie's going to grab it. I understand that's not how you make penalty decisions. That doesn't necessarily matter. But as a referee, you have to think about the context of the game.
Oh,
In that moment, you have to be very confident to call a penalty. As you said, let it go. VAR can refer it if it needs to be, and they will send it back down to you, and then you can take a look. Why so confidently would you call a penalty when clearly you can't see from where you are? There's no way you can tell if there's a clash of feet or not. His view is blocked. It doesn't make sense to me. It's not common sense.
It's so heartbreaking for the Palestinian team, but since we won't see them in the next round, just want to say shout out to the team, just given all the circumstances that you all have dealt with, and here's another circumstance that they're going to have to deal with. Just a quick round of applause to that team. As,
incredible performances. I told you, to defend the way they did against Korea on the road, to get the results they did, to get the goal in this game, and to go up. What an incredible performance in these qualifiers from Palestine.
Yeah. Very sad for all the Palestinian team out there. But, there will be another day, Palestine national team. There will be. And now moving on to a team that will have another day. Congratulations to the Australian national football team for making it. I'm going to put out a little thing here. This is my little koala, which I got during when I donated to the Australian Fire Fund. Remember all that was happening? So I can proudly do that. And I'm going to eat my koala Cadbury while you guys discuss this feat for Australia. They came back in this match, guys. They were down and they came back, and congratulations to them winning despite having very little of the possession. But they were clinical in this match, and they were clinical in the Japan match, and they got it done.
Exactly. Feels like a carbon copy, right? A game where they conceded possession, conceded chances, and yet when it mattered most, Australia gets the points. When you think about it, take a step back. 6-point window against Japan and Saudi Arabia. Very, very impressive window. And let's give credit to Australia. They made the managerial change. When things weren't going well, they made the managerial change, and that has paid off, Roy.
Yeah, paid off big time. And they had a tremendous 84th minute save by Matt Ryan to steal the victory in that penalty kick save. That's unbelievable to pull off that type of save. It's like scoring a last-minute winner to qualify for the World Cup. That's essentially what he has done. So absolutely massive. But the coaching change, we were all kind of confused about. We knew the last coach had to leave, but we were confused about who they chose to lead the team through this qualification. But he's done it. That game against Japan was massive. And we were all talking about, it's Japan's B team. Doesn't really matter. But look what Japan's B team did today.
Yeah.
Unbelievable what they've done to Indonesia, 6-0. So they beat a good team. They came from behind. They scored 2 goals in 4 or 5 minutes to come from behind against Saudi Arabia. That's tremendous. Tremendous. I think they're back. They're not playing excellent soccer, but they're getting results.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point by Roy. That because they got dominated, you could say, in the Japan game, but they scored when they needed to score, right? And the same thing in this match. Connor Metcalf getting his first goal for Australia, which is at a very opportune moment. And then Rahi, they put to bed any chance of Saudi Arabia winning the 5-0 or whatever it was they needed.
Yeah. Yep. And look, this team has had success in World Cups. Remember, when they do arrive at World Cups, they tend to do well. Gave Argentina a run for their money, eliminated Denmark from the last World Cup, right? Has eliminated Croatia in the past. This is a deadly team, and once they get in the World Cup, they have the experience to make some noise.
Yeah. You know what it is, Roy? It's that fight. It's that fight, that Australian spirit. You know what I mean?
They've got to fight. They got a little bit of that garra uruguaya, a little bit of that Uruguayan viciousness to them, which I really appreciate. They're like the U.S. men's national team of old.
Yeah.
90s. They've got that today, and I enjoy watching them play. They don't have that silky technical style of play at all, but they're tough. They're a tough group of dudes.
They have that in all sports. You watch them in cricket. They have this mentality that is unique.
Yes. Yep. So Aussie, congratulations to Socceroos. We'll see you there. We'll see you there. We'll finish off with a match we have to talk about. Now, one caveat. Okay, Indonesia fans, not just yet, but in a few days, we will put a video out about what's next for Indonesia, because after this match, there is a lot to take away, guys. And, there was sort of the jubilant, the jubilant party after the last match. And then Japan said, wait a second, boys and girls and everyone out there, don't forget about us. We lost the last match to Australia, but don't forget about us. And that's what happened, Rahi, in this match.
Yeah, it was a lesson, right? A lesson. And Japan said, hey, congratulations, you're into the next round, but you got some ways to go. There's a lot of learning to be done. And Japan did this without no Mitoma, right? Without some of their deadliest players. So it's an incredible Japanese team. They were on fire throughout. But Roy, we have to talk about the goalkeeping. We talked before about Martin Pass and how good he is. In this game, Audero, he struggled big time. And I think for me, it's clear, despite his club experience, Martin Pass is the number one for Indonesia.
100%. And we talked about this in the past videos, how a lot of Indonesian fans prefer Audero because of where he plays, of the teams he's played on. And there's not that global respect for Major League Soccer. So Indonesians see FC Dallas or this team in Italy, they're going to go with the team in Italy 100 out of 100 times. But the fact of the matter is Martin Pass right now is a better goalkeeper for Indonesia. He hasn't had a game like that for Indonesia. He's had a play or two, but he recovered from those in the same game. Audero was a very, very, very poor player for Indonesia today when they needed him to step up and to hold down the fort, because this could have been 2-0.
Yeah.
This could have been 2-0 if not for bad goalkeeping mistakes, and that was rough to watch. But my concern right now is this a testament to Japan and how deep this roster is and how good the bench players are? Or is it uncovering something that Indonesians need to be very worried about with this team, which is inconsistency? We get a performance like they did against China, which was a strong performance, and then they followed up with something like this. And they've done that a lot in this World Cup qualifying campaign, and it worries me. It worries me because you want consistency.
Yeah.
And remember, last window as well, right? They get the big win, but then the massive loss to Australia. So we talked about Kluivert and what he's brought, but so far against Australia and Japan, it's been like demolitions by the opponent, right? And that's not a good sign. So Kluivert has to figure out how to play superior opponents. Somehow against inferior opponents, they've been good with him as manager, but defensively they've dropped off against the Australia and the Japans.
Yeah. And there's going to be some tough teams. You're going to have the Qatar in there. You're going to have Saudi Arabia maybe again. You're going to have, the Emirates is there. There's not easy teams that they're going to have to play to get through to the World Cup. So I think a lot to be figured out between now and then. Anyway, for everyone out there, it's been a fascinating World Cup qualifiers from Asia. And we just are excited to talk about all these teams between now and October when we come back. But in the meantime, for everyone out there, keep watching the beautiful game. Rahi, you got anything to say? We're going to close up shop here.
Thank you. It's been incredible. These Asian qualifiers have been incredible. So much fun to watch. So much passion. So much spirit. So many good stories. So many wonderful things have happened in these qualifiers, and we can't wait for the next round, Roy.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. It's been wonderful. I really feel for my Palestinian brothers in this match, man. I can't say that enough. And I'm concerned for Indonesia and what this means for the next round. But I do believe the Garuda will be back. I do believe they're due for another good performance. So let's see what happens. It's going to be interesting.
Yes, and for all the powerhouses from Asia, Japan, Australia, and all the teams that have gotten into the World Cup directly, represent Asia well. We'll talk more about your team soon. Everyone out there, keep watching the beautiful game.